Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio it is. I'm Jerry Byrne. Since the advent of COVID and lockdown, I've been speaking to many of the great and the good in music. I've got a lass who has been involved in music for a long, long time. In fact, grew up in music. And I'm delighted to say hello to 50% of the Benn sisters, Leeanne Benn. Leeanne, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jerry. And how are you keeping?
Not too bad at all. Not too bad. Listen, lovely to catch up with you in these strange times.
Oh, I know, and thank you so much for inviting me on. It's great to chat to you. I know it's been a while since we've bumped into each other.
Indeed so. And by the looks of things, it'll be another little while before we'll be able to bump into each other as well.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like any of us are going to go anywhere anytime soon again, are we?
Indeed. You two have done a huge amount of appearances and numerous appearances, concerts. Also, you did backing vocals for you're the backing singers for many of the top artists.
Yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate, Jerry. I'm sure a lot of your listeners will be aware that obviously our dad is Leeanne Benn out of the Benn brothers, so we've been singing since we were very small and always around the London scene. And then we moved to Ireland, and it was over here really that a lot of it took off for us. We've always done the harmony thing. Carrie and I were always taught how to sing it from when we first started singing. So if that kind of took off for us over here, then we've been very fortunate. We've been here for quite a long time now. I'm living here 16 years. And thankfully, we're still really busy. We're still doing lots of backing vocals for people in live gigs, television, radio. We actually have a studio in the house at Carrie's house, which means that we were still able to do that work during the first lockdown because we didn't have to travel anywhere. So, yeah, we've been very fortunate and really blessed with the longevity that we've had so far, and long may it continue.
Right. Excellent stuff. That's that's one great advantage. The other thing, of course, is a benefit to many people is the advent of the technology and the progress of technology. It allows you to be able to now very easily just record a track and send it away to someplace else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if this COVID that we're living through at the moment, if this had happened 10 years ago, then it wouldn't have existed for Carrie and I to be able to do that in Enniskillen and send it to somebody in Roscommon or Belfast or Cork or wherever the studio is, that has sent us the material. Normally the backing vocals are the last thing to go on to a track. So we more or less get sent a finished product from whichever the artist is, and then it's kind of the last thing to go on top. But like I say, we can do it now all over the internet, which is a wonderful thing, whereas we wouldn't have been able to do it a few years ago. It just wasn't a thing.
Indeed. So that's one great, that's one absolutely fantastic, advantage of the way the situation, the situation is down.
It's been a real blessing.
Indeed.
Especially this year.
Indeed, especially this year. The other thing about it, I think, also what's fabulous about the the technology, it's been a lifesaver in so many ways, and that it's kept people in touch with family and friends and all the rest of it.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Like obviously, Carrie and I were born in London, grew up in London. I've got wonderful friends and family still that live in London, and I would try and get over 2 or 3 times a year. Luckily enough, I went in January. But obviously I haven't been able to go over since. So thank goodness for the likes of WhatsApp, Facebook, Zoom calls, FaceTiming, so now no matter where you are in the world, you're never actually that far away from anybody.
Indeed, which is absolutely fabulous that that this can be done, and it really does connect people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the times we're living in is so isolating. We're not allowed to go out. We can't mix. There's no dances. The restrictions are different here in Northern Ireland, I know, than they are to London at the moment. But you can feel very isolated really quickly. And sometimes it can be hard to lift the phone and just to say to somebody, oh, look, I'm having a bit of a rubbish day, have a chat, and they cheer you up, because we all have those days. We find it hard to admit it. Yeah. So at least if you can see somebody's face on the screen or just send them a quick text, I think it makes you feel like you've got so much support then.
Indeed.
where you can, somebody then beside you having a rough time too, and they can help you through it.
Yes, indeed. I believe that you're actually you're doing a concert on the couch with some more people coming up. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. We're doing that this Friday coming up with a gentleman called James McGarity, who has done a lot of positive things for country music, in England, Ireland, Scotland, everywhere. He's very good, and he's got this series of concerts on the couch where he gets a few people together. Obviously, we're all socially distanced and all the COVID rules are in place, but it means that we can go somewhere and do a gig, and then we can bring it into people's living rooms or on their phones or on their tablets or their computers, and they can see exactly what we're doing, enjoy the crack with us, have a bit of messing. We miss being on stage and singing and entertaining, and everybody misses being able to hear live music. So I think it's a really good medium at the moment to try and bring something to the people and the fans, and then for Carrie and I to get an opportunity to go and do it as well. It's wonderful. I can't wait to do it.
Indeed. I mean, is this the first the first thing you've done since the lockdown?
No, we've actually been quite lucky. Any of the things we had in the diary for 2020 has all been postponed until 21. So now with the new streaming things on the likes of Facebook and different social media platforms, new gigs have come up that they were pretty much invented for the time we're living through, if that makes sense.
Right.
So we did we've done a few gigs. There's no audience at them or anything, which is a bit strange. It's quite odd, but we've been very lucky to do them. And we did a driving gig as well, where all the people sat in their cars. So when you finish your song, instead of a round of applause, people are like blowing their horns and flashing their lights and stuff. And I really enjoyed that. It was fantastic.
Yes, it was an instant reaction. A strange one, but it was instantaneous.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that we never would have done otherwise if COVID hadn't happened. So, you try and look for the positives in things.
Indeed so. Where was that actual the drive-in that you did?
The driving one was here in Enniskillen for a young autistic chap that's actually a neighbour of Carrie's. So we're trying to get him home from Belfast, where he had been living in a supported home, but his family was still in Fermanagh. So they were trying to get him home with a care package in place, but needed to raise funds to make sure that happened. So Carrie and I went and did that, and they did very well. They raised a huge amount of money, thank goodness, on the night, and it was just great fun. We loved doing it.
Oh, that is excellent. Well done on that. But the thing that one of the things that you were saying there, like when you're performing and there's absolutely there's no audience, nobody present. That must really, for somebody like yourself, it must be seem really, really weird.
Yeah, I mean, I've been singing since I was 14, and I'm 36 now. So obviously, I've been doing it for a long time. Been around the block a long time, lots of gigs, lots of different venues, but you know what you're going to do. You know how the night's going to work. The audience will be there, they'll react, they'll clap. You give yourself your little pause at the end of the song to allow for that. But then when you're standing there and there's no audience, it is just the oddest feeling in the world. Because then you feel like you have to sort of chat all the time and cover the silence where that wouldn't normally be there if you were doing a normal gig. So it has been a learning curve, most certainly, and a bit of an education in that respect.
Indeed. It's sort of like guys like me who, are talking to many people in a room with nobody there. It's kind of like you doing radio.
Yeah, absolutely, which is something that we've never hosted radio shows or anything, so that's not a way we would be used to working. So we did definitely find it very strange, and you're not sure if you're doing okay or if people are enjoying it or if the sound's all right, because normally somebody at a gig would tell you.
Yes.
If your mic was a bit low or the music was too loud or something, people aren't afraid to say, which is always great. But when you're standing there, you're like, oh my God, I don't know if this is going right. Are people enjoying it? You just can't judge it.
Yes, yes, indeed. That is, that is yes, that is all. I can well believe it. I can well believe it's a fair old shock to the system.
Yeah, a
No,
whole new experience. I didn't think there would be that many more things that we would be able to experience, after being around for so long and singing for, oh God, 20 odd years or whatever. But I tell you, every day's a school day, we're always learning.
indeed we are. Indeed we are. You've been, you've all the sort of work that you're doing, all the live work that you're doing. Needless to say, for this year, as you said, is gone. But well done that you've been able to, in the lockdown, you've been able to do that drive in, and also the the other work, which is online. So well done on that.
Thank you. I mean, we've been delighted to do it, but at the same time, it's still quite nerve-wracking because you haven't maybe sang a song in 3 months. So, first of all, you're thinking, oh goodness, am I going to remember the words? Doing something like that online is really, you're very exposed. There's no distractions for anybody. If they're at a gig or a dance setting or something, there's always loads of things going on. So if you have a wobbly note or you forget a word or something, you can normally cover it quite easily, and people are doing their own thing and wouldn't really notice as much. But when you're doing that, where people are watching everything you do and everything you say, and there's no distractions anywhere else, it's a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest.
Yes, I can well believe that. Yes. It's sort of as though kind of you getting out of practice.
Very much so. That's it, absolutely. It's like if you were used to running every day and you didn't run for 3 months, the first time you go back, it's not going to be the same as the last one you did. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed, exactly.
So, yeah, you do get out of the swing of things, but thankfully we've been able to keep our hands in and keep ourselves working and busy and occupied, which has been really important.
Indeed. That is it. Leeanne, listen, it's been lovely to chat with you, and thank you very much indeed. Listen, stay safe and stay well, and good luck with all you're doing in music at the moment.
That's wonderful, Joe. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. I didn't even get a chance to ask you how you were or how you've been doing through this whole thing. I hope you've been keeping well. And to all your listeners as well, look after yourselves, mind yourselves as much as you can, stay safe, and lots of love to you all.